Hey guys, Blaze Game here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. We're going to be giving a breakdown and a prediction, so let's jump straight into it. So the event takes place April 17th on Triller Fight Club if you're in the US, as well as the Fight app if you're in the UK. You guys also have PlayStation, you can also watch it on your PlayStation, which is pretty cool. So I mean, if you look at the fight, stylistically, if you look at Jake Paul's his boxing record, he's undefeated. He's got wins over Deji, who's a FIFA YouTuber, and Askren, who's also a FIFA YouTuber. He's also beat Nate Robinson, who's a basketball player. So he hasn't really beat anyone off worth to prove that he's a legitimate boxer. Just from the footage we've seen, his striking looks semi-decent. His striking in the Deji fight, even though it was an amateur fight and they were wearing head guards and the gloves were a lot bigger. But just from the striking he showcased, it looked pretty decent. He was piecing Deji up, and I know Deji, he's no boxer or anything. If you look at the shape he came into that fight, it was quite embarrassing. But just the striking that he showcased, out of the 3 fights that he's had so far, he's been somewhat decent, a bit scrappy. Not really too technical in the way he throws his punches, a bit wild, always wants that knockout. That being said, as I say, he did knock Askren down in the first, he knocked him down twice in the first 2 minutes. And I know obviously, again, Askren, no boxing experience, probably no desire to be a pro boxer, but as I say, that fight was quite entertaining. Good fight. He did showcase that he has got some technicality in his striking, but as I say, he is very scrappy, as he did show against Nate Robinson. If you watch that fight, you could tell Nate Robinson had a massive adrenaline dump, couldn't box at all, kept on hugging Jake. That being said, Jake Paul was able to knock him down in the first round, and ultimately came away with the second round KO. So I mean, that fight, if you look at it from what it is, just an entertaining sort of influencer fight. Jake Paul did look good, but then again, if you look at Ben Askren, his accolades, what he's achieved, former ONE champion, former Bellator champion, former Olympian, he's been in there with Robbie Lawler, he's been in there with Damian Maia, 2 former champions, former welterweight champion, former Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. So he's got some really great names on his resume, Douglas Lima, who I believe at the time when Ben Askren did beat him, he was a real deal, got a lot of hype. But if you look at Ben Askren's striking, his striking is pretty terrible. I know a UFC fighter called Drekar Close said on the Sugar Sean O'Malley podcast that Ben Askren strikes like he's got something up his ass, which I think is pretty accurate to how he strikes. Again, he's pretty terrible. But as Ben Askren's always said, will be interesting to see how it plays a factor into his fight. Ben Askren's aim as a fight was to never really punch you, it's just to use his jab just to get enough distance to take you down. So it'll be interesting to see how Ben Askren approaches this fight with Jake Paul. Obviously, I believe Jake Paul will come out swinging in the first 2 rounds, come out with a lot of energy, coming to really put Ben Askren away pretty quickly, as he should. He wants to make a statement. He wants to prove to everyone that he's a legitimate boxer. He can go in there with semi-decent fighters. But that being said, I just don't think Ben Askren is the right fight for him to showcase that he's the real deal in terms of boxing. I think had he fought a good MMA striker, I can't think of the names at the top of my head, but I'll just throw a few names out, a name like a Mike Perry, or I know he wanted to fight Bisping, or any just a decent MMA striker would have been a bit of a better fight. But props to Ben for taking the fight, because I think he said it's the biggest payday of his entire career, which is pretty cool for him. I think if you look at, as I say, the accolades that he's achieved, I know obviously he's coming off 2 losses, but again, there's no shame in losing to Damian Maia. So I think this is well deserved for Ben. I know he also runs wrestling academies, and a lot of people have also said if Ben Askren loses this fight, I know he was on the Logan Paul podcast, and Logan was saying how he's done, and if you lose to Jake Paul, your career's over. But it's like, no, because at the end of the day, I know a lot of people think Ben Askren is representing the sport of MMA. I don't really believe that. I think he's bringing, I don't think he's necessarily representing MMA fighters, but he's definitely bringing that audience, and I think he's representing the MMA audience. As I say, the views that Ben Askren will bring will be huge. As for Jake Paul, Jake Paul's got a very kid-friendly audience, got a younger audience. So I think, as I say, there's probably 2 or 3 different markets for this fight. You've got boxing fans who are going to be pissed off at this fight, who will probably watch it anyway just for the other boxing fights. You've got, the YouTuber fans who watch Jake Paul for his YouTube and just watch YouTube in general. Then you've got the MMA fans who'll be supporting Ben Askren. Well, I know a lot of MMA fighters have been moaning, saying, "Oh, Ben Askren's going to get KO'd." I think Ben Askren's going to get the job done. My prediction for the fight would be a decision win for Ben Askren. I think at the end of the day, as I say, I think if he can lock Jake Paul in the clinch, utilise dirty boxing, go to the body, go for them sneaky jabs that he showcased against Damian Maia. I think, as I say, if he can really utilise that clinch. I know Nate Robinson did it, and I don't think it necessarily had an effect, but again, if Ben Askren just sort of can use any grappling he can, any way of clinch control that he can, I think that will really tire Jake Paul out, really frustrate Jake Paul, might cause him to miss more, and just be a bit more reckless, in which Ben Askren can capitalise, as I say, sneak some uppercuts in there, some jabs, but I don't think Ben Askren's got the ability to knock Jake Paul out. I mean, he's never really knocked anyone out. I think in his entire MMA record he had 2 knockouts. So he's not, as I say, he's no knockout artist. I mean, it's just a very high level grappler. Been there with Jordan Burroughs also. If you look at the fight stylistically, I think it does favour Jake Paul in terms of he's got more boxing experience. He's had more boxing fights, obviously. I don't think Ben Askren's ever had a single boxing fight. But that being said, Ben Askren knows how to prepare for a war. He's been in there, as I say, with some of the best. So he knows how to go to that dark place. You look at the Robbie Lawler fight. Robbie Lawler slammed him on his head, then belted him with about 50 more punches. And Ben Askren's face was all bloodied up, and he was able to, come through that and get the submission win. So, just looking at his career, Ben Askren does do well in adversity. He'll always find a way to win. Even the Damian Maia fight, I believe, he landed the most takedowns on Damian Maia in his entire career, which I believe was 4, which is crazy. I mean, that's really good. And just watching that fight, Ben Askren did showcase some of his striking in the Damian Maia fight. It wasn't too good, as I say. It was pretty terrible. It's a shame that he can't use a spinning back fist in this fight against Jake Paul. I think he could probably really present some damage. But yeah, it's a really fun fight to look forward to. As I say, you've got a bunch of different audiences who will be tuning in. You got Snoop Dogg commentating. Yeah, as I say, it's a really fun fight to watch. Obviously, I will be breaking down the Whittaker versus Gastelum card too. That's a really stellar card that I can't wait to talk about. But I just thought I'd talk about this fight because I know it's getting a lot of buzz, and I know a lot of people are excited for it. I know Jake Paul does get a lot of hate, and I know a lot of people don't really like him, and a lot of people are really rooting for Ben. But I also know a lot of people are rooting for Jake to win. But I just thought it'd be a fun fight to talk about. It's a big fight. I think it'll do well. If you look at some of the other fighters on there, I know Frank Mir's fighting on there, so it'll be interesting to see Frank Mir. I know, Frank Mir's a former UFC fighter, been in there with some of the best, great grapplers. The only thing I would say about the card, I wish there was more MMA fighters versus boxers, but that being said, I do think whoever wins this fight, whether it be Jake Paul or Ben Askren, I do think this will definitely open up the door to more cross promotions between boxers and MMA fighters, and I would really like to see it. I think that'd be really cool. As I say, you've got 2 different audiences sort of not necessarily clashing, because again, a lot of MMA fans also follow boxing. I don't follow the sport of boxing. I'm not too familiar with it. Again, the only boxing fights I've seen are YouTuber boxing fights. I've seen the KSI Logan Paul fights. I've seen the Jake Paul Gibb fight. I've seen the Ruiz Joshua 2 fight. So I've got not too much knowledge on the sport of boxing, but I thought I'd break this fight because again, I'm really excited for it. As I say, I think it could be a really cool event. The musicians that they've got. As I say, I wish there was going to be a crowd, like maybe a limited capacity crowd. I know the UFC hosting events with 15,000 people, 17,000 people, so it's interesting to see why this event won't be having a crowd. I think that would really hype the event up that much more. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. There's a quick little analysis on the fight, but As I say, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nonetheless, if you guys haven't watched my Holland versus Vittori breakdown and reaction, I just went over the main card, some of the prelims, some of the standout fights that night. If you guys didn't watch that video, I'll leave a link down below. If you guys didn't watch my Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4 review, I'll also leave a link down below for that video as well. If you guys want to stay connected on Instagram and always know when I'm posting and uploading, then I'll also leave a link for my Instagram. But guys, please like, subscribe, and peace.
Now he's seeing Tweety birds over the top of his head. When you take a hook like that, you are on wobbly legs.
All right, he's very comfortable fighting off his back, DC. Now looks like he's trying to hip escape.
Yeah, he's trying to hip escape or maybe look for a Kimura here. Liver kick, if you take those kicks, it's going to shut your body off.
Move and recover.
Big body kick lands.
Move.
Until he blocks it, you better keep throwing those body kicks.
DC, didn't take him long to find his range here tonight, huh?
His timing is on point.
He is all about that left kick to the body.
He's very tricky when he throws that body kick. Look at the whip action that comes from him throwing that kick.
Oh, liver shot right on the button.
I mean, shot, that is the most debilitating shot in all of fighting. It is very difficult to recover from that.
Now look at him jumping in to try to get the finish.
Push him up.
30 seconds now to go in the round.
Hey,
Ground and pound strike there now.
Stay with the game plan. Listen.
Well, he gets up again here, but he looks hurt. Israel Adesanya's head. Huge, what a fight so far. All right, there's the end of the round. We'll show you some of the highlights.
Okay, hey, look at me. Look at me. You're okay. You're okay. Have a seat. Listen. All right, hey.
Okay, round two, you ready? You ready? Let's go fight.
Let's push in there.
Timely defense there. Huge block for him.
Keep moving.
Big
Okay,
kick lands.
Okay.
Oh, what a connection behind there. His opponent could be out of here soon, DC.
Come on now.
He's almost
Come on,
done.
let's
I mean,
move
when
that
you get
head.
hit with a shot
Let's
like
move
that,
head
you
now.
don't know whether to run, hide, grab, or wrestle. He's confused. He's as confused as he was on his first test in elementary school.
Back to the feet. Man, Adesanya with a beautiful land on the feet. His fights can be hard to call because it's just constant motion. Crazy.
I mean, he has it, right? He's that guy. Oh, he's in trouble. He's hurt bad.
Back to the feet.
Look at how he turns his hip over.
Oh, violent strike to the body. This could be the
I
end.
mean, this fight is close to being stopped. That was a massive shot to the body.
Do you believe it?